You are going to drive yourself insane and you'll burn out on YouTube very, very quickly. Let me give you an example. We launched our Spanish language vidIQ channel just over a year ago, and for a long while the channel grew very slowly. But we knew we were creating good content on a consistent basis. And once YouTube had enough data and positive signals from our content, the channel started blowing up. No viral videos, just good, consistent content being shared more and more by YouTube to the right audience. And in the end, we didn't just reach 4,000 hours of watch time, we crushed it. But we had to be patient. Level up your videos. 70% off How To Premium. Get started. Let's start off with the obvious. Everybody wants to create the best quality content they can, but at what point do you reach diminishing returns? Is it worth putting in extra resources to make this video even better, or there is a cut-off point where you end the video and say, I'm going to move on to the next thing whilst that video is published and getting views? It is that classic question of quality versus quantity. And my general advice, my personal opinion, is that quantity has more value to you as a creator when you first start out on YouTube. Well, let me explain. First of all, that experience of you pushing out videos on YouTube consistently gets you into a rhythm and helps you learn how the YouTube platform works in terms of comments that you get, analyzing your analytics, and then being able to refine future content. If you're focused solely on making videos all the time, you're never quite sure how your audience is going to react to that content. Second of all, the more videos you publish on YouTube, the more data YouTube has to play with in terms of serving up your content to the right audience with search and suggested. Think of it as filling out an application form. The more boxes you tick and the more thorough your answers are, the faster and more efficiently this application form can be processed, as opposed to coming back to you for more answers. Also, when it's time-sensitive content, you really do need to consider how fast you can get the content out and multiples of that content. For example, when there is a big news story, yes, you could spend an extra few hours or days working on the video to make it of higher quality, but then you're losing out on the potential audience that wants that information right now. Now, this is not a hard and fast rule. For example, NKBHD is a very popular tech YouTuber who does amazing reviews on products, but he doesn't try and rush those reviews out for when the product is released. He may do a quick hands-on when it first comes out and then spend a considerable amount of time creating a very high quality piece of content. So in this sense, he gets the best of both worlds, a video that hits the trending news story, and then a really high quality, very high value video for his audience. And finally, again in my personal opinion, to begin with, when you're creating content, you don't have the volume to send YouTube enough positive signals to recommend that content for a longer period of time. So if you are constantly hitting YouTube with new videos every few days or every week, then you are going to see those little spikes in views every time new videos come out, and eventually over time, as I said, up and to the right. Quantity versus quality, comments are below. Let's start a discussion on that. There are a lot of YouTube education channels out there, ourselves included. But you know who else is a really good YouTube educator? It's YouTube themselves with the data they have to offer you. You ignore YouTube's analytics at your peril, because they basically tell you what to do and where to find the data. If you didn't already know this, on the Reach tab of the analytics screen in the YouTube studio, there is this data funnel of impressions, click-through rate, and watch time. And if you mouse over the information icon, it tells you, in YouTube's own words, remember, that you can increase the chance of YouTube suggesting your content by increasing click-through rate and your video watch time. When it comes to watch time, you can analyze each video in great detail by looking at audience retention. Of course, you want to get as high a watch time as possible, and while there is no magic watch time percentage, if you're getting over 50% consistently, you're doing a good job. People usually abandon videos when they are bored or when the video doesn't deliver what was promised in the title and the thumbnail. And through this graph, you can see where you might have pain points. An intro that's too long, for example. If you can trim the fat, leaving lean, juicy, succulent content for your audience to feast off of, you'll end up making less content that nobody actually ever watches. Every once in a while, check out your audience retention on the last 5 to 10 videos and share that in the comments below. Look at the graphs and determine whether or not there is a consistent pattern of audience dropping off your content. And while we're on the subject of watch time and audience view duration, doing a good job. People usually abandon videos when they are bored or when the video doesn't deliver what was promised in the title and the thumbnail. And through this graph, you can see where you might have pain points. An intro that's too long, for example. If you can trim the fat, leaving lean, juicy, succulent content for your audience to feast off of, you'll end up making less content that nobody actually ever watches. Every once in a while, check out your audience retention on the last 5 to 10 videos and share that in the comments below. Look at the graphs and determine whether or not there is a consistent pattern of audience dropping off your content. And while we're on the subject of watch time and audience view duration, don't fall into the trap of making longer videos in an attempt to get more watch time. Make the video as long as it needs to be for your audience. For example, we cannot make a video on how to delete a YouTube video for 20 minutes, but we can create a bite-sized 2 to 3 minute video that gives the viewer exactly what they want, gives YouTube positive signals, and launches our content to the top of the search rankings. So what we can do is make a 15 to 20 minute video on how to get 4,000 hours of watch time, because there is a lot of meat on this bone. And if you're still watching, then we've proven our point. Alright, another question for you. If you're a subscriber to vidIQ, or this is not the first vidIQ video you've watched, why do you keep coming back to us?